Hey friends, welcome to an impromptu episode of Olivia's Corner. I am bringing you along today as I am doing what I do all the time as far as map creating, because I'm in a class that is writing for film and television, and I'm supposed to be coming up with a TV show really soon, and how can you have a TV show without a setting? So, let's see if I can do this without jostling my camera like crazy. This is my setup today. Sorry, there's a gleaming light in the background. I have already thrown down some dice, and they are still where they were when I dropped them, and I've drawn an outline around where the continent is, and then I couldn't find my my generators, so I am making my own generator today. Yeah, so come along with me. You know, like people do those like get ready with me videos? That's kind of what this is, except it's build a world with me. So we are doing the very, very basics of world building, which is I have to have a world on which to build things.
What I have so far is I have decided that D4s represent mountains, D6s represent fields, D12s, I haven't written it in yet, but those are going to be like strange locations, or like, I don't know, weird things you might stumble across. Oh, I called it strange terrain. So D12s are going to be strange terrain. D8s are trees, anywhere where there are trees, and I have some strange varieties there. D10s are where there's water, anything from waterfalls to wells that are not in cities. I assume cities have a decent water function. These are out in the wilderness sort of water things. The D10s that are like the 100, that have the like 10, 20, 30 rather than 1, 2, 3, those are strangely all landed near the coast for me, so I just made that a coastal category because coastal is fun, and there can be cliffs on coasts and cities on coasts and so many different things. So I'm excited about writing up that part.
And then classic D20s are places where civilization happens. So I've got 4 of my chunks of that categorized as ruins because I'm planning to make this a somewhat post-apocalyptic world. My problem in this is typically that I don't dream big enough as far as how massive each continent is. My main continent that my players play on takes maybe 3 weeks to cross the whole continent. That's not very big. So that's like on foot. So the TV show that I want to write is set in like D&D times, and there is magic involved. Who knows if it'll ever make it to print, so you guys get to hear what I'm dreaming up that might never become anything. That's okay. Yeah, so that's the overview of how I'm doing my generators. With that in mind, let's get started. Alright, so I've got this like weird little island thing. It's kind of bean-shaped roughly off the coast. There's a really tall mountain on this island, and I rolled a 7 on a D12. So I'd probably better figure out what my D12 gives me. I don't know. It feels like it's cheating to read what's on my dice before I am writing what the generator says, but I didn't do this on purpose. I just was thinking about, oh, I probably have generators somewhere, and then I didn't. Usually when people do get ready with me, they like talk about a story or something, tell a story, so I don't really know what to talk about. What do you guys want to know about? So I'm in this program writing for film and television. I guess that's a good place to start since that's what I'm getting ready for with today's video. And when I was little, my parents, well, as I got older, my parents told me that when I was little, my brother and I used to write stories back and forth, and we would just like, one of us would say something and then the other one would go, oh yeah, and then this happens. Oh yeah, and then this happens. And sort of, we were doing our own writer's room style thing. And as an adult, I didn't know that you could do that, like, with people. Like, there's a paid job where you go, like, be a person in a room and help bounce ideas with people and come up with really interesting ideas. And that's amazing. And I love collaborative storytelling. That's part of why I love Dungeons and Dragons. And I want to do that. I want to help build TV shows and movies from the ground up and help filter what works and doesn't work. So with that in mind, I was like, yeah, I'm going to build a TV show, and it's going to be dope. And everybody's gonna love it. I don't know if that's true. They tell us not to think that with your first stuff because your first draft is never wonderful. So we shall see. The like over preparer in me thinks that if we can do enough work ahead of time, then like there's less of a chance for it to flop, that it really will be a wonderful, like, because of all the prep work ahead of time, it will be a wonderful sort of TV show. I don't know how it works. We'll find out. Do you want to know what each of my generators is or entails? I guess I'll just tell you if one gets selected to be on the map as we go along. What else counts as strange terrain? Okay, there we go. I came up with all of my generator components. Next, I have to look at what I rolled. Shit. This is my last piece of lead on my only mechanical pencil I can find, because artist life means I don't know where anything is. I don't know where my stuff is. Okay, here we go. Number 1, my island, where I told you I rolled a 4 on a d4 and a 7 on a d12. Let's find out what is actually there. So this is where it gets tricky, because sometimes it doesn't work. And if you watched my other video about world building and DMing stuff, I might override my own rollings. I'm going to try really hard not to, because part of the fun of this is that I have created a very basic option for a world and filled it in with as much drama and randomness as possible, and there's something wonderful about that. So I want to keep the randomness as much as I can, but no, I'm gonna do it anyway. This island has a really tall mountain and something magical. Great. Yep, okay. Really tall mountain. I have a degree in art, and I still draw my mountains as really tall triangles. So, no shame in doing that. It's a mountain, really tall. I don't know what the history is yet, so, and then I'm gonna draw some little sparkles. Magical something. Yep, that's what's there. Okay, the next small thing, is an even bigger island with ruins of some sort. That's all my note says. I just get to draw that there are ruins here. So there was once a civilization, but that's the fun of post-apocalyptic, is there's like, oh, what's on that island? I don't know, let's go check it out. And you totally can. Or maybe one of the characters is from that island. I don't know. I love it so much. Okay. How do I even start the continent? Oh gosh, we're gonna start on this side. Here we go. I was dreaming up that the one whole coast would be like, kind of like the island of Themyscira, where Wonder Woman is from. You can yell at me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Where it's just like a tribe of warrior women, because I have a dream of... No, I literally had a dream last night. That's what it was, of the warring nations that are going to be happening, because that creates good tension, and that one side is this like fierce and incredibly capable tribe of warrior women. I have yet to decide what kind of weapons they carry, but I love the coastal scenes and sort of atmosphere. So I don't think I made cliffs any of these, damn it. I love cliffs. Cliffs are so intense and scary and complicated. All right, tackling from this side. Okay, there is a D8 with an 8 on it, which means that there are maple trees with pretty leaves over here. There's a D12 with a 10 on it, which is a set of planes that are unexpected. Someone was expecting something here, and it's not that. I have to decide what at some point. Okay, and then I've got two of my, what are they called? Percentile dice? I think they're called percentile dice. One has a 00 and one has a 50, and they're right next to each other. So the 50 means that it's a coastal city that's festive, and the one with the 00 is where traditions happen, so that means that these people of tradition there. Next, I have a 2 on a D10, which is a creek or tiny stream. I kind of need to know what other kind of terrain is there. Okay, and then I've got two D12s here, one with an 11, which means there is an animal habitat of some sort here. Have you guys ever played Assassin's Creed? I know in Assassin's Creed I've played Origins, Assassin's Creed Origins. It's like this is how Assassin's Creed began. They have like the places where this is where there's a hyena den, and this is where you can find the crocodiles and stuff like that. So this is kind of like that. There's like an animal den that's fairly well known. People are like, don't go over there if you're not ready to fight some crocodiles. And the 2 on the D12 says crevasse. Yeah, I was looking forward to one of these. Splits the land through here. Why did it split? Who the heck knows? What's there? What's in the crevasse? Yeah, man. And then a D20 with a 7 on it. That is a group of mansions. That's very strange. What is it next to? That's a D6, so that's fields. And there's a 4 on it, so there's a bog or marsh. Ooh, that's so haunting. I am looking forward to the history of that guy. Bog. Group of mountains. Mountains. Mansions. It's supposed to be teeny tiny, like 1 point along a road. So I guess there needs to be a coastal road because there's a lot of dice that landed along the coast. Okay, next is another percentile dice, and it has a 70 on it, which means it's festive. I've got another D4, that's another 3, so there's another strange mountain over here. Oh, those are kind of in alignment. I wonder what that means. Okay. Okay. No, why is it festive again? Why are none of these my fighty towns? Where's my fighty towns at? I don't have any. None of them rolled that. Okay. I said I was going to try to keep it random, but I really want this to be... I'm going to change it. But I'm going to change it to fighty. It's a fighty town. This is essential to the survival of the missions. Pretty trees. And then there was this one over here that was a 3. My 3 on a D8 was trees among hills and valleys. Because, you know, like, I'm thinking of, like, Flynn Rider in the Rapunzel story called Tangled by Disney, when he's running through the forest to escape the guards and the cronies that were with him, that are all scarred up, are trying to boost him up out of that, like, little spot, like, goes like this, and they can't get out, and they have to boost him up and then pull each other out. That kind of thing. It's like a hills and valleys and stuff. There's like a massive spot in the middle of this that has nothing. Next is a 2 on a D10. I don't think you guys really care about this part of it. So part of the reason I'm doing this is because it's really boring to do it by myself. And if people want to, like, know how to, I don't know what I do for creation of stuff. Cool, slam dunk. Okay, then I have a 6 on a D6, which is withered, burned, or toxic space. Okay. Withered, burned, or toxic. Cool. Next is a 2 on a D4, which is multiple mountains. My thing says 3 to 8, so I'm gonna roll a D6, and if I get a 1, then it's 3, and if I get a 6, then it's 8. I rolled a 3, so that's 5. Just gonna add 2 to whatever I rolled. How's that? So there are 5 mountains here. 5 mountains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mountains. Cool. Drawn in. There's more hills and valleys. Very interesting. And a 1 on a D10. A waterfall! Okay, so now that I'm looking this over, I get to look at what kind of flaws does this continent have. That's kind of hard to tell when I don't have the drawn in parts of what I just wrote on. I did not drop very many D20s on this, apparently. I only have like 2 things that were used, maybe 3. My coral one! It's one of my favorite dice. I have 5 more D20s. They're just gonna fall and scatter. That's helpful. So now I'm just sort of peppering in more civilization-y things because I only had like 2 previously. Cool. Done. And because most of that was rolling and me filling things in, I hope that this was interesting for you. And if not, you can just like, this is the kind of thing I imagine people like put on in the background while they're working on their own maps and things. Like, let me keep you company while you work on your maps. Yeah, so thank you for coming along while I build a map. I'm gonna go now so I can draw on what these things mean and start cataloging them. If you liked today's episode, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already, and then you will get notified when I notify you and when there's new content. Otherwise, thank you for showing up, and I will see you next time.